This orientation, so probably it can save your time and also to avoid the COVID-19 situation where everyone is heading to the uni, so we can take some time for that. But we are going to meet each other in class next week, so don't miss it. For today, in this video, I would like to give some understanding about our course, what is it about, and what you can expect to gain from our TLS. According to the name of the course, you probably know that definitely it is about listening and speaking. Those approaches and theories that you gain from ajanต่างๆ from our PLT, you will still use those skills and those understanding. But like I would say, teaching English language is pretty much like skills, right? So in English, we have 4 skills: speaking, listening, writing, and reading. But in this class, we are going to talk about the skills that we don't even need hands, like the skills that we call it spoken skills. Spoken doesn't mean like it's only speaking, but spoken means that there are skills of listening and speaking. So next class, we are going to go for the deep details of that. I would like to first show you guys about the overview of our class first. In our class, there are 2 main platforms of learning. First, definitely we are going to see each other face to face, but also in some part, like for those lectures that we can make it online, we are probably going to do the recorded video first. I will send it to you before we come to class, so we probably don't have to spend like a total 3 hours in class, but we can do the flipped classroom, which means that you can watch the lecture from home and then we come and have like we hang out for 1 hour, like throwing ideas, supporting each other or killing each other in the class. That's pretty much our flipped classroom. Or in some cases, it could be like the total 100% online courses for class observations or something like that. We are going to discuss about that next week. I would like you guys to see yourself not as a student. We are going to be the learner. So what is the difference between student and learner? Students refer to those who come and take, right? Who come and study, who come with like 0 understanding and then gain something and then leave. But as learners, I would say everyone takes the roles as teachers and learners. We come to share and we come to grow together. So I will be your learner as well. Everyone is a learner, and let's support each other for the whole course. We will learn in the perspective of teacher. I know that not everyone is going to be the teacher in the future. ไม่ใช่ทุกคนจะอยากเป็นครูใช่ไหม But teaching skills is not just only for those who will become a teacher, but in any single kind of job, you will need these skills. Okay, so in our class, they're divided into 2 main streams of learning. First one, that will be lecture based. So I will be the one who share the most. But then another half, almost 50% of our class, that will be practice and demonstration. So we learn the teaching strategy. So it is very important to practice as well. ดังนั้นครึ่งแรกจะเป็นการเรียนแบบ content based แต่อีกครึ่งหนึ่งจะเป็นการเรียนแบบต่างคนต่างเป็นครูซึ่งกันและกัน So there will be half study and practice. It sounds very strange. It probably sounds like how can we teach English when we're not native speakers? Very interesting. What we have to keep in mind is that English doesn't belong to any nation. English doesn't belong to American. English doesn't belong to British only. English doesn't belong to Singaporean or Indian. But English belongs to everyone in the whole world. So in this class, don't panic if we're not native speaker, because we're not and we will never be, and we have never been. So it's normal. Keep going. Don't panic. I would like to now show you the assessment plan first. I know it probably sounds very serious that, okay, we haven't met each other, face to face, but then I start talking about the assessment already. But I think it's just like running. You don't know like the goal or the finish lines, where it is or how long do you need to run. It looks a little bit harder and longer than it actually is. That's why I think it's very important for us to talk about where do we have to go since the first date? So assessment for this course, so you can plan yourself like, okay, if you're not good at this or if you are pro at that, where or how can you prioritize your learning strategies or your learning plan. We have 6 assessments in this term, which is probably different from another time because last semester we had the COVID-19 attack. The previous semester we didn't have the COVID-19 attack at all. But in this semester we are trying to avoid the COVID-19, so it's pretty much like in between. So it is a little bit different. So I would like to start from the first assessment. So this costs 10%. We call this one the observation. You will have a chance to observe somebody else's class for listening and for speaking. Each time of observation, you will need to first fill the forms, like analyze their strategies or analyze the techniques, pros and cons of using those strategies, or what could you notice from those classes. For those, it costs 10%, and you need to do it twice. So in total, observation costs 20%. Basically, the observation is just a tool, so most of your points came from your analysis. And next one, we will have the quiz, and let's see whether we can have an offline or online quiz. I will inform you guys after we see the university policy about the blended learning. And next one, after you become an observer, like you check into other classes and then you observe how they teach and how they perform and how the results are. Now it's your turn to teach. For the teaching demonstration, it will happen twice as well. It costs 15% each. With all the strategies and techniques that we learn and what we have analyzed from other, we were trying to improve our teaching ability as well in this part. There are 30% in total, twice, 15 each. Last but not least, we will have the final exam as well due to the COVID-19 situation, and I didn't want to trust the situation very much, so I would like to set it as an online version first, but then let's see what happens next and we'll figure it out together. There are summative one, but right now it comes to the last assessment. It's similar to class participation or class attendance into the form of teacher diary, which costs 5%. So for the teacher diary, you will submit it at the end of the semester. Teacher diaries are pretty much like your final thought of the day. So whenever that you take the class, even though it's online or offline, you will need to write down like your lecture in whatever style you want. What do you think about those? What do you think about that? Or what are your final thoughts on that topic? Or it can be your lecture, it can be like the plain lecture, or it can be the summary of those lectures, or it can be any mind mapping or your attitude or your ideas or your further ideas on that, or any reference that you would like to do. So this is pretty much like a freestyle on teacher diary. This is pretty much about today's orientation. I would like to introduce myself first, and next time we see each other, it's your turn to introduce yourself to me. My name is อาจารย์วราดินินโกศลนะคะ, or you can call me Jen Best ก็ได้. I have the very strong interest in education technology, and I think that supports our life. So before I leave you guys, I would like you to first, if you are in this Facebook group already, please share it to your friends or invite your friends who is not in yet. And also, I would like to leave the one topic for you guys as a homework. What do you think makes a good language teacher? For this week, มีเวลา1 week นะคะ please go back and try to list or trying to summarize or trying to think about that. You don't have to write it or hand it in, but next time we will have a discussion. You have to show your opinion. There's no right or wrong, but in terms of learners or students, ในฐานะของผู้เรียนภาษาเนี่ย so what are you looking for as learners to see or for your language teachers to have, and then we can summarize it and categorize it, and then we can discuss about this later. Alright, and I think that is pretty much for today's session. See you in the next week on Friday. So thank you very much everyone for checking this video of the orientation.